for the young people who are left in the church, that if the church pitches too hard and speaks too much about things like the Eucharist, it could turn young people off because they would never be able to comprehend it, or they wouldn't believe it.
Nonsense. It's on the contrary, and all that. I grew up with that nonsense, and it's caused nothing but havoc in the church. First of all, they can't understand it. That's for the birds. Young people studying science at the highest level, studying engineering at the highest level, studying law and mathematics at the highest levels. Why in the world would we think, oh, they can't understand these themes of theology? I just came from a conference on Thomas Aquinas. You know, Thomas writes the Summa, the famous Summa Theologiae, for beginners. It's for incipientes, he says. It's for beginners in theology. So this high-level text that he designed for 18, 19-year-olds who were just starting off. So first of all, that's nonsense that they can't, understand it. Secondly, we should challenge them more than we do. I grew up with the, Church of Relevance, and let's make it as easy and user-friendly as possible, and let's give you no challenges. That's why they left. That's why they left, because who cares about such a church? We should intellectually and morally challenge young people, give them something to fight for, give them something substantive to think about, and they know what they stand for, and they're going to go, fight for it.
How does the church fix it?
Go back to the saints. Watch the saints. I'm with Urs von Balthasar. The greatest theologians are the saints. They're the ones who live these truths. Hold up the Mother Teresa's and the John Paul II's and the Pier Giorgio Forsatis and hold up these great figures who embody the Catholic way of being, and say, be one of them. Be a saint. Now talk about, there's the challenge if you want. Don't settle for spiritual mediocrity. The church doesn't care about that. It cares about saints. It doesn't mean you have to be a world famous figure. Follow the little way of Saint Teresa of Lisieux, but be a saint in your life, and you'll, wasn't it Catherine of Siena said, you'll set the world on fire if you become the person God wants you to be. So we fix it by means of the saints and by an honest and smart and beautiful presentation of our faith.
I fully agree with Bishop Barron's message. As a young person, I'm not looking for a simplified version of faith. I want the rich, historic faith. Like Bishop Barron says, I want to be challenged in my faith. When people try to modernize or synthesize or blend the church with culture, faith risks becoming just another part of our busy lives, something that blends in rather than stands out. The church needs to challenge young people, both intellectually and morally, because this is what strengthens our faith. I believe this is exactly what Bishop Barron is saying, and I believe it's ultimately what Jesus taught. Jesus constantly called people to follow him, asking them to let go of their cultural assumptions, their possessions. He wanted them to sell everything and truly commit to him. In essence, Jesus asks us to give up everything that we have so that we can ultimately find him. When the church downplays the depth of its history and the unfolding story of redemption as perfectly seen in the church and lived by the saints, I thought of it this way. It's like Esau trading his birthright for a single bowl of soup. By lowering ourselves and the church itself to fit with culture, we risk leaving an entire generation lukewarm in their faith, probably a lot like the soup that Esau ate that day. So Bishop Barron is right. We need to challenge young people with the full historic faith. This means encouraging them to live and think deeply about their faith and to live a life of integrity. When we strive for both intellectual and moral growth, we not only thrive personally, but I think that the culture will flourish. And if the culture flourishes, I think that the church will grow vibrant. All right, that's all I have for this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe. And remember that Christianity is Christ, and without Christ, there is no Christianity. I'll see you next time. Peace.